So many men in the world that I've talked to in one-on-one mentorships and the Godlike Master Initiation program that I have, the Regal Change Academy, all of these places, there's been a common theme that men seem to have that they don't know exactly how to wrap their minds around. And it's like people that are following Christ have this tendency to kind of self-isolate anyway. And they are asking themselves, what's the point? Why even bother with a society that hates us, like literally hates us? And, it's a good question, honestly, if you're asking it genuinely. But if you're just asking to complain, you're not trying to actually problem solve, then there's an issue there. But I think what it is that so many times in life, men specifically have to forge their own path. And they don't know exactly how to do this. They don't know exactly how to forge what it is they need to forge. They don't know exactly how to, because nobody's taught them that you can do this. You don't have to buy into what society is telling you. You don't have to buy into what, society is telling you to worship women and how to worship women. Worshiping women is one of the worst things you can do for your soul as a man. I really worshiping anything other than God, really, but the point is, though, it's like society fears the single man. Society fears the single man that is not afraid to be single. Society fears the man that actually enjoys his time, enjoys who he is, likes living life on his own terms. It's like society can't handle this. It's a very, very warm morning/afternoon here where I'm at. And, I'm just thinking about these things because I had a conversation with somebody earlier at the gym. They were wondering exactly, because they heard that I wrote a book from some other guy in my community that has purchased the book and read it, and he's been telling people about it, which is very kind of him, and he told me, he's like, at first I was just going to be polite to read the book, but he's like, but I'm actually interested. And I said, well, that's great, that's fantastic, that's the hope. And so he's been telling people about it, and there's this young man that started asking me about things, and he's like, I just graduated college, and I'm trying to figure out my purpose, and I'm trying to figure out how to live my life, I'm trying to figure out what it is that I actually want to do. And I said, well, you're 20, how old are you? 24, 25? You don't need to know. I think that's one of the biggest lies that men are told in this society. And people in general. It's like they have to know what it is that they're going to do before they're 24, 25 years old. You don't even know who you are sometimes at 24, 25 years old. So how do you expect to tell the world who you are and what you're about and what you're planning to do if you don't even know who you are? It's not really possible. And that's just the proclivity that the society has to force people into making decisions. And society hates nothing more than the single man that is capable of making his own decisions. It's true. They hate nothing more. The people, the women, they don't like anything about the single man that is capable of choosing healthy life choices. And it's like, how can we live as men in a world that hates us? Well, we have to remember that it hated Jesus first. And we have to remember that this life is temporary. It's not about the materials. It's about the eternalities. And godly men above all understand this difference. in perspectives, and they respect the difference in perspectives. They're not going to force anything on anybody, and that's another reason why people hate single men. It's because they're not forcing anything. Usually they're not forcing anything on their fellow common man or woman. They're not pushing anything. They're just saying, all right, well, if you hate me so much, I don't need to be here. And I'm not going to waste my time, and I'm not going to waste anybody else's time. You know, I had an opportunity for a temp job recently. Nothing crazy, just a couple hours a week, you know. And I wanted to do something else and just get some little extra cash, right? There was a misunderstanding, and they expected me to like cater to them, even though they're the ones that miscommunicated on certain things and what's going to happen when, and I said, well, I'm not going to waste my time, and I don't want to waste yours, so sorry for the misunderstanding. And they got super upset about it. It's like, well, look, I know that I'm going to be somewhere that I can walk away from certain situations. I have other opportunities available to me. And I work hard and I work smart to get to where I am, to where I have options. Now, I'm aware also that I cannot do this for everything, but I can be capable of doing it for anything. And that's another reason why society hates single men. It's because we know that we're capable of walking away. We don't have to take the crap. And they hate us. They hate us for it. Society hates single men because they know how to live on their own terms. That's really what it comes down to. And it's really as simple as that. You know, we get so ostracized in society. And it's not to say that, women don't either. Because, of course, everybody's, well, what about women? I'm so sick of talking about what about women. Sorry, guys. I just am. I'm so sick of hearing about it. Because the way that I see it is, if we don't help men get some direction in life, our society is going to crumble even further than it already has. And I don't think that we've seen the last of this either. I don't think we've seen the end of the craziness that is about to ensue upon the land. But this audacity that people have to say that men are not going through struggles or that men need to just man up, it's not possible. And I'll tell you why it's not possible anymore. I had a dream the other night where I was in a classroom where I'd already graduated from. And I had seen men that I work with in my one-on-ones in the RCA, the Regal Change Academy, and in the Godlike Mastery Initiation Program. I've seen these people in the class. And one of the students in the class who I work with very closely, he says in the dream, because it's like a math class in the dream, right? And he says, why can't the formula just be a man? And I said, well, because every fifth action times resilience plus discipline equals your level of manhood. And I thought that was very interesting because that was my dream that came up with that algorithm. And I think it's necessary for a lot of men that they need the technicalities of this now. Like, be a man is a philosophy at this point. And how you be a man is, well, that's up to you. How you express your masculinity is completely up to you. I'm not going to be able to tell you how to express yourself. But I will tell you that the world wants you to shut up. The world wants you to obey. The world wants you to do this. The world wants you to do that. What do you want to do? When's the last time you did something because you wanted to do it, man? And you know, I think we'll leave it with that, because all these landscapers around, I'm not sure how loud the video is, hopefully it's not too bad, but they just came out of nowhere, so I'm gonna have to cut this one off. But I hope this video was encouraging and insightful to people, specifically the men out there. Don't let the world get you down. Do what you want to do, insofar as, you know, it's in accordance to God's will. And peace be with you. Until next time.